Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Yomi. My name is Yomi and I make college art and travel related videos. And for today's video, I will be talking about what is a dual degree program. So I attend a very special university program in the United States of America called the Brown RISD Dual Degree Program, also known as BRDD or BIRD. It's a special program where students attend two universities, two accredited institutions, one an arts university / design school called Rhode Island School of Design, also known as RISD, and the other institution is a private liberal arts university Ivy League institution called Brown University. The schools are within a minute walking distance from each other, so they're right on top of each other. They're in the state of Rhode Island in the northeast of the United States, New England. And it's a very special program. It has a 2% acceptance rate every year. So they accept around 19 to 20 students every year, hoping that 15 of those students will accept to have a cohort of 15 students per year. So there's around 75 dual degree students between the two schools every year. And the program is 5 years since you're getting 2 degrees, one from the arts institution and one from the liberal arts institution. From RISD, you graduate with a Bachelor of Fine Arts, and from Brown, you graduate with a Bachelor of Arts or a Bachelor of Science, depending on which type of degree you do, if you do a humanities degree or if you do a STEM degree. Both universities are pretty hard to get into. When I applied to RISD, it had a 16% acceptance rate. When I applied to Brown the same year, it had a 5% acceptance rate, and the dual degree program in total had a 2% acceptance rate. So how do they pick these students? First off, they pick these students based off of their academics and how well they do in school and their test scores, like generally how institutions choose university students for their universities. So they choose their students based off of all of those different guidelines, and then they also choose these students based off how good their art portfolio is and how well fitted they are for the program. So you could get into the Brown RISD program where your art isn't as good as your academics, but you can't get into the Brown RISD program if your academics are very subpar, but your art is very good. You have to be able to succeed at both institutions, and all of the Brown RISD students that I have encountered have made both amazing art and have also been really good at academics and are very versatile. So how does tuition work? You pay tuition to Brown University, and Brown University gives half of the money to RISD or something like that. You can be on both meal plans. So the past 2 years I was on half Brown meal plan, half RISD meal plan, so I would attend the cafeterias at both institutions. This year I'm on fully Brown meal plan, so I only go to the Brown University cafeteria, and I have like a 35 meal stipend for the entire year where I can go to RISD 35 times and eat there if I want to eat with friends or just chill in the cafeteria. I have access to that too. I had to pay a little extra for that. Yeah, so you get a degree from both institutions. You have a major at both schools. At Brown you can major in either 1 or 2 majors, and at RISD you can only major in 1 major during the dual degree program. So most students, I believe, who are in the dual degree program choose 1 major at Brown and 1 major at RISD, but I do know some students who have chosen 2 majors at Brown and 1 major at RISD, although that is not as encouraged, because one thing about Brown is Brown University has the open curriculum. It's very unique, and it's one of the only schools in the United States to have this. The open curriculum is where they encourage you to expand on your academic interest and on the interest that you have in general. So you don't have to take general education classes. Like, you don't have to take your maths, your science, your histories, your English classes. You take whatever classes you want. You take the classes for your major. Like, let's say your major has 9 classes you have to take. You take those 9 classes, and then the rest of your degree you can take whatever classes you want, whether that's Ghanaian drumming or whether that's history of architecture. They want you to expand on your academic interests, so that's what the open curriculum is. Basically, you don't need to take general education classes if you don't want to in order to graduate. So with the dual degree program, you don't have as much freedom with the open curriculum because you're also taking another major at another institution, but you still have access to that open curriculum, and you don't have to do general education, at least for Brown. So how the dual degree program works is it's 5 years. The first year you live at RISD, The second year you live at Brown, and third, fourth, and fifth year you get to choose which university you live at. And your first year, most of your classes you're taking at RISD, and your second year, most of your classes you're taking at Brown. For your first year, it's called the freshman foundation year. Every freshman at RISD goes through this, including the Brown RISD dual degree students. So you're basically in 8-hour studios, like one studio, 3 studios a week. You have 3 8-hour studios a week, and they're very rigorous. They have a lot of homework. It's kind of like meant to break you. I don't want to over exaggerate, but it's kind of almost like weed out, how some classes, like chemistry classes, may be weed out classes. That's kind of how the freshman year at RISD is designed. It's designed to make you work hard and to really think outside of the box, and you have these really outlandish assignments. Like my freshman year, I had to design 20 3D objects within 1 week. I had 10 portraits I had to do in 1 week, and I also had like other assignments for my other classes, all due within that 1 week, which took a lot of time. So the freshman foundation year is a lot of work. And then your second year, you're more so focusing on your Brown classes, and third, fourth, and fifth year, you're focusing on whatever classes you need in order to graduate. Both Brown and RISD majors are very rigorous. From what I've heard, there is grade inflation at Brown. At RISD, some of the professors grade quite strictly. It really just depends on the professor you've had. I've had classes where I feel like I definitely could have done more, and I got an easy A. And then I've had classes where I've done everything that was required of me, and I didn't get an A. So art is based off of one's own interpretation. So sometimes the professor will like your work, sometimes they're not going to like your work. The Brown University program is an extremely rigorous program. It's a program that's filled with a lot of stress. I will say that in this video. I'm not going to sugarcoat and just say, oh, it's like an easy program. Like, it has a 2% acceptance rate for a reason. They only choose a select amount of students for a reason. It's a very hard program. There's a lot of things you have to juggle. You don't have a normal college experience, because art school in itself is not a normal college experience, because in art school you're in 5-hour studios. You usually have 3 5-hour studios a week, and those studios have a lot of homework. So in class, like, I'll have my Brown classes in the morning, and then I'll have a 5-hour class in the afternoon from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m., which takes up a lot of my day. But at the end of the day, the program can create a lot of opportunities for you in the future. I also wanted to touch on a study abroad. You could study abroad if you want to. I know that's a concern a lot of people have, like, oh, I want to study abroad, I want to join clubs, I want to do sports. You can do club sports, you can study abroad. Doing a D1 sport isn't super feasible with this program. I'm not saying it's impossible. That's something you definitely have to talk over with coaches if you're getting recruited, but it's something very hard to manage. But yeah, the dual degree program is a very unique program. I have one of the more unique college experiences in the United States. So you get very diverse majors you can choose from, whether it's computer science or economics or Africana studies or French and Francophone studies at Brown, to glass blowing and ceramics and film animation video and illustration at RISD. There are a lot of different majors that you can choose from, and it's a very beautiful program where you have access to so much, to so many libraries. You have access to twice the amount of libraries as any other university student, twice the amount of cafeterias, twice the amount of study spots, twice the amount of dormitories. If you don't like something at Brown, there's a chance you'll like something more at RISD. If you don't like something at RISD, there's a chance you'll like something more at Brown. You can join all the Brown University clubs you want. You can join all the RISD clubs you want. You just go to 2 universities at the same time. It's not like you go to Brown or you go to RISD. You go to both equally. And yeah, it's a very rigorous program. I will emphasize that. If you're someone who wants a chill college experience, it's not chill at all. But you can also make it as rigorous as you want to make it. Just like any other university, you can be up until 4 in the morning every night, or you can decide to go to bed at 12. And yeah, it just depends on what you want from the experience. So if you have any questions about the Brown RISD dual degree program, You can ask me questions in the comments. I hope I answered some of your questions. There's a lot more videos about the Brown University program now than there were when I first applied to college. So I hope I helped. Thank you so much.